two speakers. I think they're going to tag team. I'm not sure what their layout might be, but they are joining us from the University of North Georgia, so we're very happy to welcome them here. First, I'll introduce April Sledge. April has a bachelor's degree in art marketing and a master's of business administration, specializing in innovation and entrepreneurship, so she should feel very comfortable in this room. She has 10 years of experience as a business owner over in Cherokee County and awarded 3 years in a row top real estate photographer in Atlanta. And after a decade of building and growing businesses, she is working to help build a local entrepreneurial mindset within our community and is now a program coordinator for the WORC grant at the University of North Georgia. So you'll soon learn what that stands for and what her program of work will be. And also joining us is Sandy Ott. She is the campus director for the University of North Georgia at their Blue Ridge campus and has over 20 years of experience in higher ed. She has been involved with numerous student success initiatives and served as a campus administrator for the University System of Georgia and the Technical College System of Georgia. Sandy holds a Master's of Education from Georgia Southern University, go Eagles, a BA in Communications from Shorter College, and she completed a graduate level certification program in diversity education at the University of North Georgia. She received the University System of Georgia's 2016 Chancellor Service Excellent Award for Outstanding Leadership and is actively involved in numerous community and civic organizations and values the relationships of community partners and collaboration. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sadie and April to tell us about their program at UNG.
All right, so I'm April. I'm going to be doing the presentation, and then all the questions are going to go to Ms. Sandy over here. So don't react to me. I'm April Sledge. I'm the program coordinator for the WORC Youth Entrepreneurship Project. And through our Office of Government Relations and Economic Development and our Regional Education and Economic Development Initiative, we are seeking opportunities to connect, collaborate, and create opportunities within our community. So, that being said, let's talk a little bit about UNG. The University of North Georgia is in the University System of Georgia and is designated as our state leadership institute in the Military College of Georgia. At 20,000 enrollees, reflects the 2020 fall semester enrollment, being 80% of the University of North Georgia enrollment being from a 30-county service area, and a similar percentage of our alumni also live in that same area. All right. All right, so connecting campuses and community, UNG is one of 119 colleges and universities that was awarded the 2020 Carnegie Community Engagement Classification. This is designated by the Carnegie Foundation, and it means the Institute is committed to community engagement. We're committed to community engagement through service learning, internships, and project work, as well as innovation through research and scholarly activities through our university. The READ initiative was established in 2015, and it is through our Office of Government Relations and Economic Development. That is led by Ben Gerard, our Executive Director, and Bobby Larson, our Director. Their main focus areas are going to be educational attainment, workforce readiness, and the idea that industry, education, and other community partners must work together. Through our research process, we have met with several community leaders in the communities and in our service area, and they've requested engagement from UNG and K-12 level education to work together for workforce readiness, and they have expressed it as a top priority. Our work grant that you're about to learn about grant aligns directly with our academic engagement and the READ initiative. Aligned with academic engagement is in the form of faculty research that will be conducted around entrepreneurship and development and entrepreneurial ecosystems within our community. All right, so the basics of who, what, when for the work grant. This is a $1.45 million grant that will be executed over the next 36 months. And it is focused on youth entrepreneurship and professional development education. The counties we will be concentrating on are Dawson, Fannin, Forsyth, Gilmer, Hall, and Luncheon counties. And this is all with a collaboration from UNG, local high schools, and industry and economic development partners. The best part about this is through this grant, we're going to be able to work specifically with Betsy and Amy to customize this grant to meet the community needs of Dawson. So, and I'd also like to note that this grant is very competitive. Only 27 applicants throughout the Delta and Appalachian region received round 2 of funding. All right, so that's the basics. Let's get into it. So why entrepreneurship? Per the Appalachian Regional Commission 2018 report on entrepreneurship ecosystems in Appalachia, regions could do a better job at promoting entrepreneurship and providing education and opportunities for young people to seek this as a career option. Also, more regions could embrace new programs, such as what we're going to tell you in a few minutes, to help companies scale up and move from startups to high production companies. Entrepreneurship was referred to as a priority in many communities and regional economic development strategic plans, as well as employers have stated that they are seeking employees with entrepreneurial mindsets. So entrepreneurial mindsets can be a broad term, but we'll tell you how we define it and how employers in our community are defining it. The entrepreneurial mindset is a mindset that refers to being driven by specific sets of entrepreneurial beliefs, thoughts, and activities that lead to innovation, ideas, actions, and creation. An entrepreneur is resourceful, courageous, resilient, passionate, and creative. According to the Georgia Department of Labor, 87% of employers surveyed indicated that their new employees lack creative thinking, problem solving, and other skills related to entrepreneurial mindsets. It's a big issue in the workplace. The thing is, entrepreneurial skills are learned skills. They're not necessarily something you have to be born with. So, Dr. Reuben Bowling said, many have failed to develop and reap the benefits of an entrepreneurial mindset because they are so ingrained in their assumption of their current situation that they could not see beyond what they view as barriers of those circumstances. Though some see barriers, while those with entrepreneurial mindsets see opportunity. All right, so program overview. We have 3 levers. We have the youth entrepreneurship education. There's 2 aspects to that. The direct student services, which are going to be entrepreneurial programs in the high schools. And we'll get in more detail about that in a minute, as well as curriculum and program development, which includes the moving of entrepreneurship and innovation programs from our pilot phase into through development in a formal curriculum framework that aligns with the CTAE standards as well as the Georgia Perkins 5 transition requirements. This is to include student and instructor resources and a detailed program implementing guides with scaling and modification recommendations based on the county they will be implemented in. All right, the second lever is our education and industry capacity building. This really is how we are going to bridge the gap between industry input needs and educational outputs. How can we make the connection from our K-12 schools for them to learn the skills, to go into the workforce within their community? And how do we do that effectively? We're going to be working with educators, especially CTEA educators. We're going to embed entrepreneurial mindsets and skills into regular CTAE instruction, develop and sustain productive industry school partnerships, and provide effective individuals secondary advertising to all students. All right, so that's how we're going to bridge the gap. Third lever is local regional ecosystem development. This lever is really about sustainability of the program long term. We're going to we're going to provide multiple interaction opportunities for education, industry, and economic development for the different counties to promote regional collaboration and assist local and regional secondary institutions and make recommendations for potential partnerships, growth, and strategy. It's a lot of words to fit in 20 minutes. Give me a second. Sorry. So the beauty of this grant, it does allow for some localization. We can provide our goal is to provide very specific programs for each county that we're working in. Like we said, we'll be working in Dawson to make sure we're meeting the needs of Dawson and what they need in their school systems and in their community. All right, so like we said, we're going to be working directly with students. How do we plan to do that? There are two specific programs that make up a bulk of what we will be doing. One is through the BB&T Center of Ethical Leadership, and it is housed in the Microtrol College of Business, and they will be doing UNG-led business ethics and professional curriculum training inside our high schools, as well as addressing very specifically substance abuse prevention within schools and how that can affect students' long-term careers. I think it's something that we talk about as this is bad, but we don't really talk about how it can affect us long-term. The second thing is through our Innovate UNG Entrepreneurship Program. That is led from the Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, also in our Microtrol College of Business. First is entrepreneurship education classes, which then leads students after these classes to have the opportunity to enter our pitch competition. Our pitch competition is something where they can go, create an idea from start to finish, and pitch it to industry professionals. They will work with industry professionals, mentors, UNG faculty, staff, and students to develop this idea. We'll also be putting on a conference towards the end of the grant called Started Up UNG. Some of our industry exposure for educators and students include Regional Education and Economic Development Summit, industry field trips for students and educators, professional development opportunities for teachers, and capacity building support for the economic developers. All right, so like we mentioned, there are going to be big efforts from BB&T Center of Ethical Leadership and the Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, both housed in Microtrol College of Business at UNG. But along with that, we are going to be working with College Access Strategies, Rachel Fry, and her job really with us is helping us create a curriculum that is K-12 based. So taking our college ideas and what we're already doing in the colleges and integrating them on high school level effectively. And she's my new best friend. I talk to her daily, whether she wants to or not. Institute for Educational Leadership, really what we're doing with them is they're our data people. They're looking at our program evaluation and the effectiveness of this program over the next 3 years to figure out how sustainable it is. Can we make this something that we do over and over and over again? Can we grow it? All right, and then our Dawson County partners, Amy Smith, CTAE Director in Dawson County Schools, Betsy McGriff, and also we wanted to mention WorkSource, which is with the Georgia Department of Labor. and they will be helping us a lot with our volunteers and positions and things we have open. So one thing we wanted to mention is how things we need as far to make this grant work. We are highly depending on entrepreneurial mindset people that are already ready in our counties and in our industries to help us. So things we need help with our B program. We need help with leaders that can help lead real-world ethical simulations. We also need for our Innovate UNG, which our first one for the high schools is in February 16th, is our competition for this year's. Our industry mentors and judges for the competition. Also, we need professionals to host industry tours, job shadowing, and internships, not only for students, but we are actually going to be sending, like, for example, our shop professionals, our shop teachers, we're going to be putting them in the real world now. For a month or a week or whatever, for a day in the shoes of people in that industry right now. So they know the needs that they need to be teaching their students. They may have done it 20 years ago, but they haven't done it in 2021. So we need also for our teachers as professional development. So, just a project overview. I know I'm talking fast and you'll have plenty of time to ask questions. So as a project overview, students have the opportunity to explore entrepreneurship and career opportunities available locally. That's the key, local, to keep them local. Students will gain the professional skills needed to succeed in the workplace, reduce the number of unengaged youth following high school graduation, capacity building for both educators and economic development partners, development of a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem in the North Georgia region and increased pipeline for local talent. And finally, program sustainability and replication in other communities. This is just the start. Hopefully this will be the first of many opportunities for us to work with the Chamber and Betsy and Dawson County Schools and Amy on programs that will support the workforce development. Okay. Questions? Anyone? I'm not afraid for you to ask me questions. I just don't know all the answers. I know I went through it fast.
I'll see with the question.
Yes.
Can you touch on maybe what sort of, I think, brought you guys to this place with the program you did previously in Forsyth County?
Yes. First of all, let's all remember where we were last spring. And when everybody was navigating, working from home and learning Zoom and figuring out Teams and the craziness of March and April and May. That is when the grant came across our desk. And just to tell you how important collaboration and working with the relationships that you build, IEL, that's one of our partners now, actually reached out to UNG and said, this grant came across our desk and we thought of the University of North Georgia immediately because of the work that the university has done in entrepreneurship and business and collaboration. So, in the middle of COVID crazy, you saw all of these county systems, economic development, chambers of commerce, workforce development partners, UNG, all of those 6 entities pulled together via Zoom. Actually, I had the opportunity to work on the grant, and I've never met some of those partners face to face, but we met every week, all spring and summer. And so, just to see the collaboration that came from that. When we applied for the grant, we said if we get it, it will be amazing. But the opportunity that the applying for this grant gave us and the collaboration and relationships that we built, we were already a winner before we got the $1.45 million. We're just really big winners. But going back, how this I mean, you know, with the grants we've all worked on, you're like, you've got to stand on your head, you've got to, you know, turn around 4 times. But this was, what does your community need? And the Foresight program that UNG did, it was based on the Shark Tank concept. And April actually worked on it when she was in the MBA program. And I'm housed at our Fannin County Blue Ridge campus, but I work with Gilmer, other county schools. And that's something they would always say. We would love to have a program like Shark Tank or the Foresight program, but we don't have the resources. Our teachers are already maxed out. They can't do another thing. Throw COVID on it, can you imagine? Then our business, finding those connections with business and industry, our work-based learning coordinators, their tax working out, finding work-based learning sites, our CTAE teachers, we don't have the manpower to pull it together. Well, guess what? This grant provides program coordinators. We'll have 2 positions serving those 6 sites to do just that, to aid the school systems, the business and industry partners, and have someone that makes those connections.
And I'll add to that, like she said, program coordinators, my job is to be the in-between the university system, this grant, and the high schools, the counties. It's my job to make sure it flows smoothly and that it's a pleasurable experience for everyone. We want this, I didn't mention our timeline really to roll this out in Dawson. Our goal, it's not our goal, it's going to happen because I'm the program coordinator and I'm going to make sure we're on time. But starting this spring and early summer, we're going to start setting in dates to roll out the Innovate UNG and to start getting those educational classes in the fall for those high school students that are in those CTAE programs. And that way, we're going to get started soon. This semester, really, in the timeline we had, especially with COVID, we're just in Foresight, but planning to roll out Dawson in the fall of 2021. All right, other questions? Yes?
Where does the building ethical employability training program stand right now? Are you just at its beginning, or is that in motion?
That's in motion. They actually, so both of these programs, the Innovate UNG and the B program, they were actually programs before this grant came around. So the good thing is we're already in motion. It's not something we necessarily have to develop. It's something we have to fine tune for the K-12 programs. So they actually already have their trainings now. The big thing that this year has created was instead of teaching in person, we had to go fully virtual. So part of my job has been to create virtual trainings that we can send to the teachers with curriculum so that they can teach it in their classrooms or online without us having to be there, which has been a whole different hurdle. But yes, they have been already developed and working.
Well, I saw that you mentioned that you needed people to be part of role plays.
Sure.
Or whatever, and how does that work for, like, if somebody here wanted to do that? Is it, I know it would be probably virtually now, but normally would it be at one of the campuses?
Yes, so the grant was based around the fact that we would be in person. This is not something that, as far as simulation, is something they do on the computer. Our hope is we put these students in real life situations so they know how to handle themselves and they learn those skills. So yes, it would be in person. As far as how to get into those positions, reach out to me. And we have business cards. I do not have my business card yet. I'm not new to the program.
She's so new.
I'm so new.
I have cards this weekend.
But it's simple. It's april.sledge@ung.edu. If you are looking to be a mentor or part of these programs or just don't know what you want to be, but you want to be a part of it somehow, please reach out to me. We are happy to have you. Actually, we would be blessed. So, anything else? Yes.
So will you be the contact for Dawson County, or will you still go through Amy Smith, CTAE?
So, it depends. We'll go more specific on that.
For CTAE specific questions, it would be Amy, but for programs for the entrepreneurship grant or for mentoring or ways to get involved, particularly with the pitch contest, whether it be as a judge or maybe if you're willing to serve as a mentor to one of the pitch teams, as a community mentor to help them with their concepts and their ideas. That was unique.
Yes.
So, the curriculum CTA specific. So, I just want to tell you really quick about when you have things happen, you're like, you have those aha moments, those I call them light bulb moments for students, because you see it on their face when you're talking about something. When we found out we got this grant, it was July 4th weekend, and I'm a parent of two high school students right now, and I had a group of kids at my house, and naturally we get the call, you've got this grant, Bobby Larson, y'all know Bobby, she calls me. I was so excited, like I screamed, kids came running, they're like, what's going on? And I said, we got this phenomenal grant, UNG did, and it's gonna do this and this, and so I told them way more than 17 and 18-year-old boys want to know about the Workforce Opportunity Grant. But I had a friend of my son's is at my house that day, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, so, Miss Sandy, if I have a tree business, and I cut trees and do landscaping, but nobody in my family knows how to do that. You know, would this grant be the kind of thing that could help me when I start, next my senior year after high school, help me figure out how to start a business? And give me some people that know what they're doing and know how to do it. And I was like, exactly. You know, it was one of those, I was like, my light bulb came on. It was a light bulb, it was a billboard, it was Christmas lights, it was everything. I was like, that is exactly what this grant is going to do. It's to help those kids that are sitting at Dawson County High School right now that say, I want to one day own a business, or I want to work for a business here. And how do I do that? I don't know what I want to do, but this is a way to make that happen for them.
Anything else? All right. We have taken up enough of y'all's lovely time. Thank you so much for letting us talk about this today.
What a great topic to have my very first business luncheon as chamber president. I want to tell you, this is what community is all about. This is what the chamber is all about. I so bad wanted to jump up and be like, no, just call Betsy. Because I know Betsy works. So she works with these, CTAE, I've been on that board advisory council for a long time. Everything that you talked about as to what this is going to accomplish, we have discussed in these workforce development meetings. And we're so very lucky to have Superintendent Gibbs, who really believes in CTAE and really pushes it. And it really, we didn't have anything like that when I was in high school. I don't know about y'all, but it gives our kids such a good experience in kind of going into what they want to do afterwards and getting that experience. And hopefully, like she said, we'll keep them here in Dawson County because we need to build our workforce here. So thank you so much. I'm so proud of our relationship that we keep with UNG as well. So if y'all do have any questions or want to participate, I know that we will be working very closely with April as well as we go through this. So don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Betsy, and we will definitely get a good showing for Dawson County because I know we have the best volunteers in all of your territory, I promise. And the best industries. Don't let me down now. All right. Thank y'all so much for taking your time to come and be here today. Look forward to seeing you hopefully at Business After Hours and then next month's luncheon as well. So reach out to me if y'all need anything. Thank you.